If you skipped through the previous lesson, that's alright. The only thing that you missed is the package that we're going to be using for Markdown. It is called Parsedown. Let's go ahead and visit the website right now. If you visit parsedown.org and then you can click on GitHub, you go to the GitHub repo. Now this is a very simple package. We're going to go ahead and Composer require it, and then to use it, all we have to do is instantiate a new Parsedown class and call the text method on it. Let's try it now. Term Composer require Parsedown. Back in PHP Storm, we have our initial test here. Often, I will take a test and simply just write an experiment just to see where I would go with it. But in this case, I do know I'm going to rename it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Rename, and we're going to call it Markdown Test. Pretty simple. We'll rename the class, delete this test, and start over. On a new test, I'm not sure what this test is going to do just yet, so I'm just going to call it Experiment. Let's go ahead and instantiate Parsedown now. Parsedown equals new Parsedown. Now we are going to have to import this because it's in the base namespace. So we'll bring that up here at the top, use Parsedown. And all we have to do is call Parsedown, and we're going to call the text method on it. And we're going to pass in a string. Let's stick to heading, pound, heading. I'm going to copy experiment, move back to iterm, PHP unit, -- filter, experiment. And there we go. We get an H1, then our text, and then another H1 closing tag. Awesome. So what I actually want to do is I want to extract Parsedown into its own class. And the reason for that is I want to go ahead and encapsulate Parsedown into a class that we have control over. So if in the future I decide to change what package I'm using, it won't affect our logic. Let's do that now. In my source, I'm going to go ahead and make a new PHP class, and I'm going to call it MarkdownParser. Namespace, the GOMBT, press. Now back in my test, I want to see how I want to interact with this new class. Ideally, I would call MarkdownParser and maybe call a parse method on it and pass in a string. So let's pass in the same string right here. This is wishful programming. This doesn't exist yet. Let's make that work. So in my MarkdownParser class, I'm going to make a new public static function, and I'm going to call it parse. Now I know it's going to have to accept string, and let's replicate the code for instantiating Parsedown. Parsedown equals new Parsedown, and we're going to return Parsedown, and we're going to call that text method again, and I'm going to pass through that string variable. Let's go back to our test, and I'm going to die and dump this right here. I'm going to erase everything else just so that we know exactly what we're going to be getting. Back in iterm, I'm going to run experiment one more time, and there we go. We get the exact same result. Now there's a slight difference in this implementation, and that is that again, that Parsedown package is being encapsulated inside my MarkdownParser. So I will always be able to call that static parse method and always get back what I need, regardless of what Parsedown package I'm actually using. Let's complete this lesson by writing some assertions. This assert equals, and we're expecting to get back this right here. So I'm going to copy it, bring it over, and that's going to happen when I call my MarkdownParser class and call the parse method on it. And there we go. Now let's change the name of our test from experiment to something a little bit more meaningful. I'm going to say simple Markdown is parsed. Okay, let's run that test. PHP unit -- filter Markdown test. And there we go. We are now parsing Markdown. Now if you stick around with me for just a couple more minutes, I want to show you one very quick refactor that will clean up this class from 2 lines to 1 single line. So here's what I want to do. Parsedown can actually be called statically, like so. Parsedown, and then we can call instance on it. So this will return an instance of Parsedown to us. And on that instance, we can call the text method. And there we go. So we can actually pass this string straight through. And then if we return this whole thing, that's it. This will actually do the exact same thing, but it's just that much cleaner. Let's go back to iTerm and run our test one more time just to make sure, and we're still at green.